Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back. You're watching the WCS America Challenger League. This is the final day of WCS America Season 1. It is currently Friday evening. Having a good time watching some StarCraft 2. I'm Axeltoss, joined by Axslav. There's some crazy games going on, Nick.
There are. Tilia is showing some of the most entertaining games I've seen.
Yeah.
Her playstyle is awesome. You know what? So far today, of course, we saw Hwansing and Tilia take out their opponents in the first round.
Yes.
And now we're going to lose this match.
Yes, we are. Before we get into that, though, quick plug. Full Sail University, guys, is the official education partner of MLG. If you're looking for the next step in your educational path, and you're looking to get into like video game design, graphic design, stuff like that, check out fullsail.edu/MLG. They'll have you fill in some information about yourself and kind of what you're after. Then they'll send some information back to you, and then you can find out if Full Sail is a proper fit for you. Definitely take advantage of that. Really cool opportunity there. Of course, as you said, what has happened so far today, a lot of exciting stuff. This is actually a longer day. I feel like today we're already longer than like the past 3 days combined or something crazy like that.
It's been some crazy matches, man.
Yeah, we had a 2-0 Hwansing over Suppy to start. Then we had a 2-1 Tilia over Illusion to start. There's a dance party going on in the lobby, in the chat between Illusion and Suppy, by the way. They like really wanted to start. And then we had Hwansing versus Tilia. Yeah, I'm sorry. This chat is just really distracting me. Okay, so coming up next, we have Suppy versus... This is the losers match, which is actually... I don't think a lot of people would have expected that, really.
No, I mean, both these guys are probably favorites to make it back into the Premier League. But one of them is going to be guaranteed out of WCS America, at least unless they are able to re-qualify later down the road in this match right here. And, you know, I have a confession to make.
What's up?
After watching Tilia play versus Illusion and versus Hwansing, I kind of want to see Suppy win just to see her ZVZ. Or TVZ, actually. She'll probably play Tilia.
Yeah, she'd probably return.
Either way, though, like, it's got to be something crazy.
Yeah. Tilia has made a fan out of me today, I think, and we're still going to have a match coming up from her later. Of course, kudos to Hwansing. Finishing on top of this group. G? What group? Do we know what group? I don't know the letter. D, Group D. Congrats to Hwansing, finishing on top of Group D, qualifying for WCS America Premier League Season 2. Here we are in the losers match. The loser of this best of 3 will be out of WCS America. Both of these guys were in WCS America Premier League. Illusion barely getting knocked down to the Challenger League after falling to Moonglade. After barely losing to Alicia in the winner's match of his round of 32 Premier League group. I remember like it was yesterday. I'm like, Illusion's going to win this. Illusion's going to the round of 16. And then he loses to Alicia. And now he finds himself on the verge of elimination. Anyway, I'm gonna introduce these players first before we get into too much history. Top left-hand location, I present your Red Zerg player. Representing Team Evil Geniuses. And hailing from the United States of America, specifically California. Attending UC Berkeley. He is Suppy. Suppy, again, a guy who got all the way to the round of 16. He came here to New York City after the 2 over Hart and 2 over, was it Ryung?
Yes.
Okay, 2 over Ryung. And getting into the round of 16 and got to the winner's match of his round of 16 on the verge of advancing to the round of 8. But got knocked out. And again, these things can happen. And now he finds himself potentially on the verge of elimination. His opponent in the bottom right-hand location, same kind of situation. Your blue Terran player representing Team Mouse Sports. He is Illusion. And again, Chris Lee, one of the youngest pro gamers from the United States. Something these two guys have in common, being fairly young American players. Both went to the WCS Global Finals in Shanghai in 2012. Both performed decently there. And then, of course, Illusion, a little bit about his history in this tournament. Because of barracks at his natural. Not too huge of a deal. Fairly interesting, though. A little bit of his history. Again, he got to the winner's match of his round of 32 Premier League. And barely lost to Alicia. And then fell down to the bracket stage where he had to play Maxed, beat Maxed. Then he had to play Tasia. And he lost to Tasia. And he would have had to play Pulp if he had beaten Tasia. And then, of course, in Challenge League group stage, which we are right now, he lost to Tilia. He was talking a little bit in the chat. He had no idea what to expect, and he was taken completely off guard, underestimated his opponent. That's what he said. So it comes down to this best of 3 losers match. Loser is out of WCS America, and will have to requalify. Of course, honestly, I don't see it being a problem for either of these guys to requalify in the Challenger League brackets. What do you think?
I don't know, man. There's a lot of insanely talented people who are going to be in those Challenger League qualifiers.
Yeah, that's true.
WCS America is one of the most stacked tournaments that there pretty much is.
Yeah.
As far as if you look at the number of top players from all around the world.
That try to qualify.
Exactly. I mean, you got the best players from China, many of the top ones from Korea. I mean, Hyun and Tasia were in Code S just not but a few months ago.
Decided to try. Yeah. Like, Hyun is absolutely going to be in the qualifiers.
Yep.
For WCS America. So yeah, no, I agree 100%.
I mean, there's still going to be, there's still players, you know, Axiom Koreans, EG Koreans, Liquid Koreans.
Yeah, all the non-Korean teams picking up the Korean players and you know, putting them in. Of course, it's a great decision. It is the weaker region pool of players, so why not you know, get those Koreans involved in there, get some increased odds at qualifying, and of course getting more money, etc.
So Illusion behind the Reaper, you know, went for the relatively standard fast start CC, and can get some Hellions. Hellions are of course going to be there to scout, check out what's going on, and get some map control.
Standard play is like actually throwing me off a little bit right now.
Yeah.
After watching Telia.
Tilia's version of Terran probably involves 10 CCs by 10-minute mark. Which actually sounds pretty good.
We might find out. No. Absolutely right.
And Suppy not doing anything crazy. Gonna get his 3rd hatchery down.
Let's see if he does a roach thing. Though I think
does use
we
those
might
sometimes,
be past.
and this is a good map.
Which one we're good at right now? Okay, yeah, there it is. So he might.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much he wants to commit to roaches. If it's just gonna be a few for defensive purposes.
We're gonna know very soon. Because if he puts on 2 Hoover chambers like very soon, he's gonna rely more on the upgrades rather than.
You know, if he noticed when you poked up the ramp of the Zergins, did he notice the tech lab positioning?
We're gonna find out. I feel like.
Yeah. No, he didn't. Okay. He might be able to assume though, because that's a vulnerability as far as if you're roach attacking, if you can stop Stim from finishing, that's huge, right? But it doesn't look like he's going for that. He doesn't have money to build.
Which is.
Yeah,
he might make like 4.
Yeah, exactly. He has money to get a few roaches defensively, but you'd want to be getting 10 to 12 if you at bare minimum if you want to do.
Prioritize 1-1.
Big attack.
Yeah. All right, we got some Hellions on the field. We're going to see about, well, once this Overlord finishes, actually making 12 Lings, so really not spending any of that gas right now. Going for the 1-1. They might go for a faster layer instead if he just completely skips roaches, but...
I mean, if there's no Reapers and only 4 Hellions, not 6, that's something that, you know, if you just have 12 Speedlings, you should have no problem. And if you can do that, in fact, you actually rather use the Speedlings because they're faster, so you can go ahead and take that map control back up.
They don't cost gas, so you really prioritize focusing on what you're investing for in your mid game. There's the Baneling Nest, very standard as the layer goes down. Nothing but drones in production, so really doing a good job identifying exactly what his opponent is up to. I wonder if Illusion is going to try to craft something off of +1. Some players will do that, but seeing as where Illusion is standing right now, I don't expect that to happen as far as Stim is concerned.
More like just when he has 2 medevacs, see him push out. As soon as his thing is with Terran against Zerg is like a Zerg at any moment could have a stronger army than you. They just decide to not build drones. So until you have a very large army, you typically don't want to risk units sitting out without medevacs, unless you've been cutting economy. Oh, is it over?
The layer's not done yet. No. The layer is so close to finishing.
It's a race. It's a race.
What's the time on it? Remember,
Overlord,
don't
hurry.
trust the time. 77 at 8. And now he's going to drop it like right now.
Yeah.
Just to cake the command center and creep.
So Illusion is moving out with a small force here in the middle. Speedlings are actually trying to sneak into 3rd base, but the rocks have been dropped.
Oh, Ling's kind of trying to be tracked down. That's a lot of Hellions. This is that push we were talking about. There should be, I think, 2 medevacs. No, there's not 2 medevacs in production. I think he's making a reactor on one of the medevacs, which is... Or one of the starports, excuse me.
So notice how he's using the Hellions significantly in front of the rest of his army because he doesn't want to expose the Marines. If there's a lot of Speedings and Banings, you put the Marines on creep there, they could be taken out very easily. You don't want to lose force or units early on. So just using the Hellions to kind of be in the front. The Marines always staying off creep, always staying where it's safe.
Burrow on the way, as well as Overlord Speed. Overlord Speed really important, especially if Widow Mines are in place.
There's still no medevacs being built, which is kind of...
What's going on there?
Yeah.
So we might see Burrow Banelings. That's definitely possible. Where are your medevacs?
No 2-2 yet from Suppy. So it could be one to go up to a lot of mutas here. Oh, there it goes. 2-2. And of course, Baiting Speed started to instantly was finished, which is often what a Zerg wants to do if they're afraid of any aggression from a Terran player. Yeah,
I mean, you can make that decision to go for the mutas, but obviously delaying the 2-2 is pretty dramatic, especially considering Illusion's pacing the 2-2. When the main idea behind skipping 2-2 and just going for the mutas is generally to try to take your opponent off guard, right? Because you're making all those mutas really early, you kind of have to get damage done, especially if you're delaying the 2-2, because you're delaying investment in a later game and focusing on investment at this specific point in time, so you want to get damage done at this specific point in time.
You know, Illusion's first 2 medevacs are just coming out right now, and he hasn't building Widow Mines yet. Okay, just not starting 2 Widow Mines. So as far as his, the scary Terran units, the medevacs and the Widow Mines, he doesn't have too many of those. Now, he does have a lot of bio units on the ground, and his upgrades are looking pretty good as well.
All right, let's see what happens here. The creep is decent here from Suppy, especially considering how active Illusion has been on the map, trying to deny that from happening. 4th base is getting up and running here from Suppy at the top middle as well, and Illusion trying to push back this creep as much as possible. Now we're seeing the medevacs really start getting in production there, but the meat is going to start swinging towards this 3rd base at the bottom. There is a turret there. There's not a turret on the left side, though, so it might be... Oh, yeah, there's a turret. And he can repair. Overseer is there, of course, looking for those Widow Mines. Great move. +1 about halfway complete as well. Infestation Pit, I think, is on the way as well. So he's going to go into Hive. It's not like he's going for a really big committed 2-2, you know, exclusively muta, you know, timing type aggression like Life loves to do. Has that Infestation Pit on the way, so has that late game in mind. If he needs it, if he needs to.
And this is something Suppy does a lot. He's, you know, we saw Tilia stay at lair for a very long time. I don't think we'll see that from Suppy. He loves getting the Ultras out. He loves trying to get that high-tech composition. That doesn't mean he's going to instantly go to Hive, but if we're talking about like the 16-minute mark in the game, if he still doesn't have Hive yet, I'd be a little bit surprised. In fact, starting it right now.
Good. Okay, because now I'm wondering when Illusion's going to start that 3-3 as well. Because, again, you can't start 3-3 as Zerg until that Hive is done, so this could be a nice opportunity for Illusion to try to get a nice upgrade advantage.
You know, nobody's really risked going for any engagements quite yet, which I think has played into Suppy's favor. He has a 4th down, he has more gas income, he's on a very high drone count. And Illusion, while Illusion does have a 4th command center done, his army composition is still relatively low tech, right? I mean, there's not many Widow Mines, there's not even a whole ton of medevacs. It's very Marine and Hellion heavy. So while Illusion is approaching the max here, it's not going to be the scariest max that a Terran can field.
Muta's trying to counterattack. There's a lot of turrets at that base, but the Muta is able to take down one and find a little bit of a hole in the defense, trying to take out those SBs. Swinging on straight into the main base. Going to get ushered out by those Marines, though.
Mutas have got to be careful to be trapped. Oh, Widow Mine might.
Ouch.
Luckily, it kind of hit a Muta that was being...
A lot of free damage in there. It's Overseer guts splatter over the bottom of Axelav.
Now, I'm actually a little worried for Illusion, just because Suppy is getting more and more resources in the bank, and if he just makes a lot of banelings, Illusion's army is not equipped. In fact, is he actually going to surge in here right now? Try down in 4th.
He's being very forward. Suppy thinking about it. He's max, so
I think Suppy's worried about Widow Mines, but there's really only like 2 Widow Mines there.
Oh, Marines and Hellions trying to bait those units forward.
Also, Suppy may want to wait until Ultralisk Cavern is done so that he can reproduce his army with Ultralisk.
Yes.
Right? So he might be waiting for that. Oh, some nice harass here. He's going to pick off a couple key units. Well, not key units, but
Suppy doesn't want a bad engagement, because that could be the worst thing that happens. Because if you have a bad engagement right before you get Ultras out, right when 3-3 is finishing from your opponent, then Illusion's going to have a timing before Ultras get out, and he can potentially do a lot of damage. So Suppy holding back a little bit, which I'm fine with. Because taking a bad engagement would be the worst thing that could happen right now. I'm trying to be annoying at that 4th base. Also, there's pathogen glands on the way. So we'll be able to add on infestors that will have energy for fungal, which is fairly important as the game goes along, especially when your economy gets up there and you're banking a lot because you're maxed.
Now, both players have a lot of resources, but, you know, Suppy's collecting a lot of it, whereas Illusion hasn't really been adding extra production facilities, a couple more factories here and there, which means Suppy's remax is going to be much faster than Illusion's.
Both these players playing very safe, very passive.
Take out these rocks is very important. To make it much more difficult for Illusion to defend all of his bases.
Yeah, it's going to have to really spread out those units, and if you spread out too much, what's to stop the Zerg player from taking advantage and throwing everything at one section of your forces?
Illusion's getting that very solemnly seen upgrade.
researching the Hellbat transformation.
Yeah, to go transform servos or
transformation servos.
Servos, yeah, something like that. Okay, so some speedings and baitings piling in here. They're going straight for the drone line, it looks like.
Yeah, and this is okay. Suppy's happy with all these trades. He has a big bank. He wants to get ultras out, and we're going to see some in production right now. Might try to squeeze in some infestors. I wouldn't mind that too much. Now that he has Pathogen Glance.
Oh, and I love how he's getting greater Spire too. Just as he has more and more resources, unlock more and more different options.
What if the drop's been from Illusion? The mutas have just been too active, I guess.
Yeah, there's a great overhead spread as well, and Illusion doesn't actually have that many medevacs. So I think he's saying, you know, if there's nothing else going on in the game, where the odds that a drop plays actually really going to do a lot of damage.
Wow, Suppy throwing a lot of units at this location. Remember, now that these rocks are gone, it's going to be a little bit harder to react appropriately. There's 7 infestors in the way. Again, a situation where Suppy is just trading away the low-tech Lings and Banelings, trying to get more high-tech Ultras and infestors on the field. This is all of the same. This is the same stuff. Widowmine's going off on Lings. Suppy doesn't care too much. Is trading away units, getting even trades, and again, replenishing with those high-tech infestors, high-tech Ultras.
Now, Illusion has built a couple of additional factories. So we can see, you know, a heavy Widowmine, heavy Thor, heavy tank being added into his composition after the Remax. But the hard thing that Illusion's going to have to deal with is the fact that Terran increments units out 1 or 2 at a time from their buildings, where Zerg can reproduce very quickly. So if there's ever a huge engagement, Suppy can instantly get back to his full force, whereas Illusion's going to have a little bit of a harder time doing so. And now Illusion also has to think about taking that 5th base. If he's not going to be aggressive, he has to continue to expand.
And Suppy...
I like what he's doing with the planetary, though. I think that's at his... I see it in the production tab. I think he said his 3rd base, protecting where the rocks were open.
You're right. Yep. What it is.
Yep, exactly. Cool. And once that's up, he can send all his forces over here.
Whoa, Suppy's going for it. Banelings, Infestors coming forward. Great Widowmine shots, though. Dismantling half the army before it even engages. Fungal's going out onto these Marines and Marauders. Illusion trying to get as many units out on the field. And again, he had a lot of units positioned at his 3rd base, waiting for an attack there. And he's going to swing that over to the right-hand side. And Suppy losing a lot of Ultras. You've got to keep these Infestors alive. But I think Illusion's going to be okay with that. However, Suppy had a big bank too, so it's not necessarily like he's terribly unimpressed with that. We have a drop on the left-hand side of the map and a drop at the top of the map. This is great for Illusion. This is exactly what he needs, trying to take down these drones, have these additional bases.
Yeah, it's curious why Suppy didn't have a little bit more stacked defense set in there with all those extra minerals. In fact, the 3rd of Suppy has some defense there, but the drop is going to avoid it, and it's still going to be annoying. Now, Illusion traded very well in the last engagement, but as he said there, Suppy has such a large bank, it's not a game ender by any means. And Illusion still has to think about how can I get my 5th base up, because Suppy has in mind now 5 bases for a decent while now, at least the gases.
And especially as adding on these more expensive units, you know, these are units that you can keep alive, right? So it's not as necessary to have you know, 1 additional base than your opponent, because you're not going to have to replenish your things all the time. This Thor is not long for this world.
It's kind of hanging out.
Where'd the Thor go? It just disappeared. Yeah. I saw the medevac remains. I didn't see the Thor remains. Oh well. A lot of Ultras here.
It could have been picked up right as it died.
That's true.
I might have done it. Yeah, this amount of Ultras can be a little bit tricky. There's no Widowmines. There's only a single Thor. There's a lot of Marines, but they're not going to cut it against this many Ultras.
You got to kite backwards. You got to get behind the wall and then lift those supply depots up. Can Illusion handle this? Great positioning at the top of the ramp, but Suppy has so many Ultras in this competition. The Infestors as well, able to throw down those fungal growths, and Illusion is desperately trying to hold on here, and I think he might be able to.
Oh, he's definitely holding on for at least a time being, but look at his bank. He's had to spend so much repopulating. Now he's walking back into open, and the Ultras are glad to engage in this location.
Illusion has to be so careful. Again, and now that he's restricted to the 4 bases, or so it seems, every single unit is going to become so important. Another Thor getting taken out. Setting this bio units after these Ultras. Got to watch out for the Funkles, though, from the Infestors. But I think Suppy's getting a little bit lower on energy as far as the Infestors are concerned. And we see 6 Broodlords in production. How many Vikings are on the map?
I would imagine 0.
How many starports?
And now he's starting to get some Widowmines that are going to help out against a potential Ultras Infestor combination. But against Broodlords, this heavy Widowmine production is not really what he wants.
Okay, there's a scan. Okay, he's only scanning for creep tumors, but he's not going to see the Broodlords just yet. This might be the tech switch that Suppy needed to take this game. Great Fungal onto those Marines and Hellbats. Oh, Illusion getting caught off guard here. Now the Broodlords coming forward. The Ultras as well. This could be very, very dangerous here for Illusion. 2 Vikings immediately being started, but it might be a little bit too late.
He's going to have to scramble to make a defense here. Widowmine's going up to the front, but the mutas are actually searching forward scores, those aren't too important. A lot of investors get taken out.
Illusion has a great concave here. He can just overwhelm all the ground forces, and then it's just Marines versus Broodlords. It's fantastic, but I think Suppy might have too much here.
There's just such a supply advantage for Suppy. More and more Zerg is constantly coming in here. There's still 2 Ultras left. Once the Ultras die and the Infestors run out of energy, a good quantity of Marines could overrun the Broodlords, but Illusion just can't get that many units out in the field right now.
Yeah, he's trying to get Vikings out to deal with the Broodlords. He's trying to get Marauders to deal with the Ultras. He's trying to get Widowmines out to deal with the Mutas. There's just so many things that Illusion needs, but he doesn't have the economy. He doesn't have the production ability to be able to make everything he needs. And Suppy storming into his opponent's natural expansion, storming into his opponent's third base. Illusion having so much trouble coming up with an answer. And there's the GG. Suppy taking game number 1. Very nice play there from Suppy. Both players playing very passively, showing a lot of respect for their opponent, but ultimately it came down to Suppy just not letting his opponent take a 5th, and of course that Broodlord transition.
It was just a better composition. I mean, it is possible to play passively as Terran, but you got to go for the high-tech stuff. I mean, at least have a lot of Widowmines in your first composition. If not, maybe try to get in some like maybe potentially Ravens.
Sure.
You know, add in additional orbitals so you can really then start suicide SCVs and get a big army. But Illusion kind of just built up that 15-minute army, and then he stuck around with it till about the 20-minute mark, 22-minute mark, and that's not really what you want to do in a TVT.
All right, Suppy playing a great game 1. He's going to be up 1-0 in this best of 3. Guys, stay tuned. We got game 2 between Illusion and Suppy coming up.